All right. Before we actually begin talking about automation, I just want to go over a couple of indicators with you real quick. I do have my own indicator called the Flux Engine. So you can subscribe. There is a 7-day free trial, so you do get the first 1 week for free. Then after that, it will be $30 per month. And the price will increase to 40 as well as to 50. But if you do subscribe now, you do get $30 per month basically for life, like lifetime. But it will be $30 per month. Then after that price will go up to 40 per month, then $50 per month as the final price. So I would suggest probably subscribing if you want to pay as low as $30 for the Flux engine. You do get access to my Discord group, and you do get access to my coaching or one-on-one assistance. And you do get access to multiple indicators, which I will actually go over in depth in my next week's YouTube video. But Flux Engine is my latest flagship indicator. I just started using it this week, as you can see. And if you look at my Top Step account, ignore this first week. I was actually using a different indicator. It didn't really do well. It only won the first 2 days and lost the next three. But this was a different indicator. The second week was actually using the Flux engine. So I took some really beautiful days, all winners besides one losing day. I did set a take profit limit of $500. And this is trading M and Q, two contracts only. So Monday got me 500, Tuesday loser, Wednesday 500, Thursday 500. Friday I just got $95 overnight. I did actually turn my indicator off before New York session starts. So I ended the week over 1.2K. So all in all, my balance is now 1.4K on my funded account. And I also started testing this on my eval account. This is trading on M and Q, three contracts, and I got more than 50% finished. Day one was a huge winner, and day Thursday was a really big winner. I did set take profit limit of 1480 just to stay within that 50% consistency rule. So it got me 1.7K, 100% fully automated using the Flux engine. Hopefully it can pass next week. So you can actually see all these trades it took, really beautiful trades. So it's really nice. And if you look at my funded account, you can also see basically some of the trades it took, winners, losses. So all in all, this week has been fire for the Flux engine. But like I said, 7-day free trial. Then after that, $30 per month. The link will be in my description, and you do get access to multiple indicators as well. So just keep that in mind. And then obviously I do have the Conflux, which is an alert strategy builder. The link will be in my description. There is no free trial with the Conflux, and all sales are final. There'll be no refunds for both the Conflux and the Legacy Prime. And then Shift Algo X, if you want this as well, the link will be in my description. So, and if you also want to see, if you also want the Algo Pro indicators as well, link will be in my description, and use the coupon code MARC, MARC, and you do get 5% off also for that one too. So I just want to let you know on that. Other than that, let's get into automation. All right, there's going to be three different parts to automation. So we will begin with part number one, which is basically if we're automating futures such as NQ, ES, basically using TradersPost. So this will be an all-in-one video for automation, and hopefully that this will answer your questions. All right. So basically, first things first. If you're trading, for example, on TopStep using Project X, the first thing you want to do is you want to go to your topstepx.com/trade, And then you want to go to the settings tab, and then you're going to go to API. Then you're going to click on this link. I'm not going to click on this link right now because it will actually show my username. But it will navigate you to the Project X official website, and then you will basically make an account. It is $30 per month in subscription, but use the coupon code TOPSTEP to get 50% off. So, meaning you will only pay $14.50 per month. So, that's basically what you have to do first, and after that, it will automatically connect to your TopStep account. And this is where you'll get your API, and you can just click on this show API key, and then you'll see your API number. um, so usually if you're obviously automating on Project X, there is a subscription. If you're using TraderVate or NinjaTrader or other platforms, no need. As of right now, Project X is the only one I know that actually does have a subscription to use the API. So that's basically what you have to do first. Um, so yeah. So just to reiterate, you go to topstep.com, you topstepx.com/trade. Then you go to your settings, API, then click on this link. It'll take you to this website. You make an account, then you pay the subscription. It automatically connects after that. Self-explanatory. It's super easy to do. Okay, that's what you have to do first. Then you can use different platforms such as Cross Trade, Pick My Trade, Quant Link. I personally use TradersPost because you need a third-party platform to actually automate trades. There is a 7-day free trial. I believe that after that it will be $50 per month if you're getting the starter plan, which is basically what I have. With the starter plan, you do have a maximum of 4 paper. The paper involves the demo account because TopStep has a demo account that is considered one, and also your XFAs, your funded accounts, is considered paper still, because that's still some money. Then obviously live account is self-explanatory. Obviously, if TopStep calls you up to live, then obviously that's a live account. Or if you're using like a TraderVate personal cash account, that would still be considered a live account. So you should know the difference between paper account and live accounts. But you can always do more add-ons. Let's say you want to add on an extra live to make it 2 instead of 1. That will be an extra $5. And you can also add on an extra paper to make it 5 instead of 4. So that would be an extra $5 per add-on. So, for example, that would be $60, right? But you can always upgrade your plan as well. So, in order to make a strategy, it's quite simple. So, you go to your strategies tab, you click on create new strategy. You can name it whatever you want. This is based on personal preference. I usually name it the name of my indicator strategy I'm using. Let's say I'm using Flux Engine. Let's say I'm using Swift Algo X for this example. So I'll just type in Swift Algo X so I know basically what indicator that this strategy is being applied to. And then I usually put plus what ticker I'm trading. So for example, NQ. And then I will also put basically which account it's being applied to. So for this example, let's say Top Step demo account. So I know what indicator strategy, what ticker, and what account. This is just how I name my strategies. This is based on person preference. You can name it whatever you want, but I would suggest be as specific as possible so you don't get confused between different strategies. All right. Okay. Description, don't really need it. Leave it as is, but it's up to you. Style, keep this as default. Systematic, I don't know the difference between the two. You can probably look it up. Asset class, if you're trading stocks, options, futures, crypto. This does not work with Forex. I trade futures, so I'm going to select that. Any ticker, allow auto cement. This should be checked by default. Everything else should be by default. I change nothing. You can hit save, then subscribe. I personally just hit subscribe. It saves it automatically. And then you can choose which account it's being applied to. So since I said Top Step Demo, I'm going to select Top Step Demo. Then hit create. Then I'm going to actually remove this first part because that's the name of the account. It's too redundant. Auto submit, make sure you check this. Allow auto submit. Then set class futures, yes. Allow sides, bullish, you want to check this, both bullish and bearish. So I can take either buy or sell positions. Entry order type, you want to select market order. Exit order type, you want to select market order. Then that's really all you have to do. Then you can just hit enable. And just an FYI, if you want to actually do position sizing, you can. But when you're doing this, you can do fixed, amount, risk, or percent. I never really messed with these three, but I did do fixed before. So let's say you want to trade 5 contracts of NQ. Then you just select fixed quantity, let's say 5 contracts. Then allow signal override. You have to uncheck this. Okay. So this will take 5 contracts of NQ. This is how you can adjust. You can do 3 contracts or 2 contracts. Okay. Make sure allow signal override is on check. I never mess with amount, but you can probably risk, the amount like $100, $500, the risk percentage, the percent there. But I only really did fixed though. But in this example, I'm just going to choose none. We can also do trading windows. So select whichever time zone you're in. So for me, since I live in California, I'm going to select America, Los Angeles. Just right there. Then after that, I'm going to add trading window. And let's say I want this algo to trade on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. And then I'm going to select 6:30. And this is going to be AM. And then I'll select 2. PM. So 6:30 AM to 2 o'clock PM PST. Why did I select those? It's the same time as 9:30 AM to 4 PM EST, which means this is the New York time session, the New York session in California time. So this is what I use. But like I said, you can choose, whichever time you want your algo to trade in. But you do have to make sure it's based on your time zone. Okay, 6:30 to 2, this is based on my time zone in California because it's the time that New York starts for us. But for this example, I'm gonna leave this as default, so click exit. Then after that, you go to webhook, and we're gonna select trading view strategy. So going back to your tradingview.com, sign into your account. So I have Swift Algo X and Conflux. You're going to make the indicator on Conflux. So if you click on these 3 dots, click Add Alert, go to your Message tab, and we're going to delete this message. This is called a JSON message. We're going to copy this, and then we're going to paste. That's all you do. Alert name, you can name it whatever you want. This is just on person preference. I'm going to name it basically the same. The name of my indicator, which is Swift Algo X, plus the ticker, which is NQ, plus the account, which is Top Step Demo. And then you go to notifications, make sure this is checked. Webhook URL is checked by default. I'm going to delete this. Then I'm going to copy this webhook URL. So copy and then paste. Then that's all you have to do. Then you hit create. And it's now active. That's actually how you make a strategy. And let's say if you change something in the settings, so let's say I go to Shift Alpha X, I change this to a 10, and then this to a 13. Then click OK. So I changed something in the settings. So what I have to do is go back to alert. You have to delete this alert. So it's now deleted, okay? Then go back to Conflux, click these three dots, add alert, message tab, and just copy and paste the JSON message. And just copy and paste the webhook URL again. That's what you have to do every time you change something in the settings. Because I get multiple DMs on Discord saying, why is it that my trade shows a signal on trading view, but no trade was executed on my actual account? It's because you did not make the new alert. Change something in the settings, delete the alert, and remake the alert again. Excuse me. Okay. You have to do that each time. It's just this rule of automation. Now it's active. And make sure you're doing trading view strategy. Click exit. Now if you go back to your strategies, you'll see it should say enable auto submit, and then it should say one subscription futures. Okay. Go to subscriptions, and it should say futures enable auto submit. And one thing I forgot to mention is that go to brokers. You have to connect to a broker first. So go to connect to broker. If you're trading on TopStep, you can either select Project X or TopStep. I personally just select TopStep. It shows TradeRate and Project X. TradeRate is no longer compatible with TopStep. TopStep removes all 30 third-party platforms. It only accepts Project X, so you have to select this. Then click I agree. And then it's going to ask for your username. And then it's going to ask for your API. Username, you can basically get that from TopStep. Obviously, you should know what username is. Then obviously API, you get it from there. Just show API key and hit copy. So that's how you basically connect to your TopStep account. It's pretty easy. Okay. Go to connect to brokers, TradeRate, same thing. If you have a personal cash account or live account on TradeRate, for example, you go to TradeRate, you just select that, click I agree. It will take you to a TradeRate account and you just sign in with your username and password. It just automatically connects. That's how you connect to a broker. So if you go back to brokers, TopStep, if you click edit, you have to make sure it shows a green status and it should say enable, okay? So it says 3 of 3 is enabled. And you'll see my on TopStep demo account, you'll see it has one subscription. That means that this is active, okay? So let me show you or explain to you how automation actually works. So, so for example, on this one, okay? So it basically TradingView fires a signal. So this is a sell signal, okay? It's going to hit this webhook URL, which is basically a TradersPost account. TradersPost acts like the middleman. It's going to read your JSON message. It's going to decode it. Then after that, it's going to tell your broker or prop firm's API to execute the trade. It basically tells your broker prop firm on what to do next. That is how a trade is executed. So meaning it goes from trading view to traders post to your broker or prop firm. And you want to take a moment to actually see all the connected brokers just to see if a broker is compatible with TradersPost. So this is all the available brokers that you can use, and this is all the available prop firms you can also use with TradersPost as well. So you can actually pause this video and check if your prop firm or broker is listed on TradersPost. Okay. And then you can see all of your notifications there, if your trade was executed successfully, and so on. And then you can create another strategy. Okay. To delete, you can just hold this and then just hit delete. If you want to pause your alert, then just hit this to pause. And then you can resume it. Let's say you want to pause for news, then just hit that. Then after the news, you can just hit this to resume again. That's really all you have to do. Okay. So that's how you automate strategy. I'm not going to explain how you automate an indicator because I do have another automation YouTube video on that, which you can actually watch on my YouTube channel. This is just how you can automate a strategy. And how you can tell if it's a strategy is because of the symbol. If you see the symbol, that means it's a strategy, which means you have to use the strategy JSON message. Okay. If it doesn't have the symbol like this one, it's an indicator, which means you need to use this one. And you can always generate a new webhook URL as well. So in order to copy a JSON message, you can go back to your subscriptions, click on edit and webhook, and then just copy, paste a JSON message and webhook URL so you don't have to recreate everything all over again. You can just go into it and then just copy and paste. And that's all I do on automation on futures. Okay, welcome to part number 2. So this part will be on how you actually automate on MetaTrader 4 or 5 if you're trading, for example, Forex or gold. Okay, so a popular third-party platform is called pineconnector.com. For the starter plan, it does cost about $39 per month. Advanced is $79. Professional is $199. I would suggest going to $39 per month. But if you do that, you do have to leave your MetaTrader 5 on as it's actually executing and taking trades. You can also purchase the cloud add-on for an extra $49.99. So that's basically $50 per month for the cloud add-on. So total would be $88.99, I believe. So almost $90. I highly recommend getting the cloud add-on. If you don't have this, you have to leave your MetaTrader 5 on as it's taking trades. Okay? And they do offer a 14-day free trial as well. So how you install it, let's say you sign in, you make an account, you go to your downloads, and then you just, if you're trading MT4 or MT5, for this example, I'm trading MT5, the process is almost the same. Then you just hit download and just do latest. Takes a couple of seconds. So it's now downloading. So if you open up the zip file, I'm just gonna copy these two. So hit copy. Then you're gonna open up your MetaTrader 5, sign into your account. You go to File, Open Data folder. Then you're gonna click on this MQL5. Go to Exports, and then you're just going to paste it. And that's all you have to do. Then hit Exit. And then after that, Expert Advisor, you're gonna right click on this, refresh. And then you'll see your Pine Connector EA, which is Expert Advisor, listed there. You can either right click, you can add it to your chart, or you can just drag it basically to your chart. Okay. Go to your inputs. You have to put your license ID. So you go back to connections. You hit copy and then paste. Then hit OK. And then my license actually expired already. This was just a 2 weeks free trial. I never actually paid for this since I don't trade Forex or trade on MT5. I was just doing it for demo purposes only. But technically, it would look something like, well, it actually went away, but so it will actually basically show you this table about your, wins, losses. Then it will give you this like Pine Connector status and stuff like that. Once you see these two, the table in this, that means you did it correctly. But my license actually expired. But that's basically how you actually set it up. And so if you right click, actually I cannot really do it on Pine Connector. I do have another feature somewhere else, so I can show you on that platform. But that's basically how you set this up. And basically the process is almost the same. So in order to automate strategy, you go to your Pine Connector docs, then go to your module 1 bridge, then no code setup. So the one I used was this one, which is the strategy version. So if you hit copy, go to your conflux, click on these three dots, add alert, message tab. Then you want to actually copy this. Go back to your connections. You want to copy your ID. Then you want to actually delete this license ID and then paste your license ID right there. And then obviously give it a name. I'm just going to say testing for now. That's how you do the strategy and notifications tab. You just have to copy the webhook URL, which is this one. Hit copy, delete this, and then paste. Hit create. So that's basically how you actually make the alert. And Pine Connector only focus on MT4 and MT5. So as long as your broker trades on MT4 or MT5, you can use Pine Connector absolutely. Okay, it doesn't matter which broker. As long as your broker uses MetaTrader, you can use Pine Connector. So obviously, how this works. TradingView fires a signal. It hits this webhook URL, Pine Connector. It's going to read your JSON message. It's going to locate your account by this ID. And then it's going to tell your broker what to do based on this JSON strategy message. And that's basically how it executes on your MetaTrader 5 because your license ID is connected to your MetaTrader 5 ID. So that's basically how you do that. And obviously, if you want to know if you get error codes, there's EA errors right there. If it is given error code, you can look at these error codes, see which one, and it will actually tell you on how to actually fix it. Okay. All right. All right, moving on to the next part. I did discover there was a new third-party platform called algorate.trade. This is a lot cheaper if you're wanting a cheaper option. So you can just choose this monthly MT5 subscription plan. It's only $7 per month. And then I will also advise getting this monthly VPS subscription plan, which is only for $10 per month. So combined, that's only $17 per month. So that's a huge difference from Pine Connector as well if you're looking for a cheaper option. And they do actually offer a lot more brokers, even Project X and Trader8. So you can actually look at this. So if your broker is not using MT5 or MT4, and if you're trading on Forex, you can just go to Trade and see if a broker is listed here, because they do offer a lot more brokers. So so for this example, I'm still gonna use MetaTrader 5. The setup is almost the same as Pine Connector. So exact same thing. MetaTrader 5, you just read manual, then obviously you're just gonna download this. It's just gonna be the exact same setup. I already have this actually set up. CSS status connected, it will not show you the table that you will see on Pine Connector, okay? But as long as it says status connected, that's all that matters. And the only difference with this one, if you go to tools, go to options, make sure you do have this check. Allow web requests for listed URL, and then you have to put algorate.co, okay? You need this for algorate.trade. For Pine Connector, you don't really need this. You can actually leave it unchecked, but you have to have this check if you're using algorate.trade for it to be connected. And obviously make sure you have this check and these two check as well as this for both Pine Connector and algorate.trade, okay? That's very important. And if you go to right click, go to your export list, go to properties. So it's going to ask for your algorithmic webhook here. So it's not going to be your license ID like you would in Pine Connector. So to get it, I'm ready to sign in. They do offer a 14-day free trial, 2 weeks, same as Pine Connector. And then it says platform MetaTrader 5. You just click on this and then you just copy it. That's really all you do on this one. So yeah, but in order to obviously automate the trade, it's really simple. For example, you go back to your conflux, click on these three dots, add alert, go to your message tab, delete this. It already has the strategy listed right there. So platform, you just click on this, you hit copy, and then paste. It's already the strategy version. And then just name it. I'll just name it testing 2. Then go to notifications. For this one, you'll just put your webhook URL. So copy that and then just paste. See, and that's literally all you do for this one. See, now it's now active. Same principle applies. So, and it should say you do have to pay with PayPal if you're using Algorithmic.trade, just an FYI. And your PayPal subscription should say active and you can always delete it. I was actually kind of skeptical at first with using this one since, since it was so cheap. And honestly, the way it looked, it doesn't really look like it just looked kind of scammy at first. But, it's actually legit. They do use Telegram for assistance for customer support. So VPS, if you're this is actually without VPS. So meaning you would need to have your MetaTrader 5 on the screen as it's actually executing the trades. But if you're using VPS like I was, like I said, this is just for demo purposes. I don't use MetaTrader. I don't trade Forex anymore. I'm just, helping you guys out. And so far, it has been executing all my trades for me. And if you have any questions, download the Telegram to your phone, and you can always reach out to support, and they usually do respond, most likely within a day, sometimes immediately, depending on the time zone. So yeah, I do use this for VPS. Same process with VPS. If you have VPS, it means it runs on cloud. You can turn off your computer. You can turn off everything, and it will still execute the trades. And I probably would actually prefer using this over Pine connector, mainly because it's just a lot cheaper, and it just works just the same. So, and if you have any issues, one trick. So, for example, let's say if your broker uses a prefix or suffix with the ticker. Let's say your broker uses USD JPYS. So there's a suffix S. You may get an error message, and how you fix this is if you right click, go to Export List, go to Properties, and if you look down, it should say prefix or suffix somewhere. It actually does not show it on this one. That's weird. So apparently algo rate of trade doesn't actually show it on this one, but on Pine Connector it does. So if you're using Pine Connector, it will actually say prefix or suffix. For example, let's say this one shows suffix. Okay, you basically place an S right there, and then after that you just hit OK. Um, but obviously that's only if it says prefix or suffix on Pine Connector. Just giving an example on this one because I'm not sure on Algoray settings where it actually shows the prefix and suffix. And make sure your symbol is also activated too. So if you go to basically view, go to your symbols and make sure your symbol is checked. So USD is checked, so I'm trading it. If you also want to trade like USD HUF, you do also have to check this as well for it to be active, and just uncheck to deactivate it. Okay. All right. Hopefully that does answer all of your questions. And that's basically on how you actually automate your trades. So this video was basically an all-in-one explanation on automation using TradersPost if you're trading futures or MetaTrader 5, if you're trading Forex or anything else, a cheaper option if you guys don't want to use Pine Connector. Hopefully this does answer all of your questions. I do have other automation videos on my YouTube channel, so be sure to check those out. If you do like this video, leave a comment, subscribe, and like. And I do post weekly YouTube videos. So other than that, I'll catch you guys in the next video.